let's get to cooking. This is what we're doing today at Memaw's house. Hey y'all, welcome back to Memaw's house. I'm back in the kitchen. I'm feeling a little bit better. The last video I posted, I was not feeling well, and I made that Korean chicken. It was delicious, but I still wasn't feeling well. But anyway, I'm 95% back up to snuff. So we're going to get to baking today. I am trying out recipes that I want to see if I want to use for my Thanksgiving meal. Yes, I said Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to get my recipes pulled together earlier this year because you know me, Mom be behind the curve sometime. But this year I am vowing to myself that I'm not going to be behind the power curve and I don't want y'all behind it either. So I'm going to try a recipe that I saw on Divas Can Cook, and it is a sweet potato pound cake. So let's try that recipe. I'm going to glaze it with a marshmallow glaze with a few pecans, and it's going to be delicious. You know, like we do sweet potatoes in the stove on a casserole. A sweet potato, some marshmallows, delicious. So we're going to try that now. And I have all my stuff set up in the back. You see there? Because I got to get some sweet potatoes pulled together too. Anyway, let's get to cooking. Here are the ingredients that we'll be using to make our sweet potato pound cake. We'll need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, an eighth of a teaspoon of nutmeg, a cup of unsalted butter, which is 2 sticks, and we have that at room temperature, a half a cup of butter flavor shortening. Now, y'all know Memaw don't keep butter flavor shortening around, but I do have some regular shortening. So that's what we'll be using today. A cup of light brown sugar, packed, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 5 eggs at room temperature. And you'll notice that my eggs are in water because guess what? Memaw didn't pull those eggs out in time, so I have them sitting in a little bit of warm water, getting to room temperature. We'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1½ cups of sweet potato puree. These are not pureed yet, but we'll get to that. And 1 cup of half and half at room temperature. And for the cream cheese glaze, the marshmallow cream cheese glaze, we'll use 8 ounces of marshmallow cream, 2 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature, a quarter cup of confectioner's sugar. I don't have that out yet, but it'll come out in the meantime. And then a tablespoon or so of half and half, because you know, like I've told you before, once you get that half and half in there, and I usually use whipping cream, you can't take it back out. So we'll measure that as we go, and then 3/4 cup of chopped pecans. So let's get to cooking. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And the first step we'll be taking is to puree our baked sweet potatoes. I actually roasted these sweet potatoes yesterday, so they were nice and cool. I kept them in the refrigerator, and now it's just a matter of me pureeing them. Now, you can do this by using your hand mixer if you don't want to have to pull out a food processor. I use the food processor because it eliminates all the strings that will come sometimes if you have a sweet potato and you're trying to get it mashed up. You can't mash out strings. So I use the food processor. So here you'll see that my potatoes are nice and smooth, and that's what we want. And that's the purpose of using the food processor. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get our butter and sugar and shortening creamed together. I'm going to mix together the butter and shortening first. And now we'll add our sugar. And it will take 7 or 8 minutes for this butter and sugar to cream well together. We'll cream it until we don't hear any granules on the bottom of the bowl and that the color of the sugar and butter changes to a lighter color than what it is now. Now I'm going to step away from my mixer and get our eggs cracked because that's the next step in our cake baking. I'm going to go ahead and crack my eggs into my separate container so that you know why, if I get a shell in there, like I just did, I can easily fish that out and it won't be in my batter. Now, I'm doing something I normally wouldn't do, and that's crack it on the side of the container that I'm using the eggs to put the eggs in. And I usually don't like doing that because sometimes the shell can fall over. And you know I got a thing about shells and eggs in my cake. So we're going to crack these on the side of my little container here that I'm going to get rid of those shells in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and get back to the cake. You see how the butter and sugar mixture has changed in color. And all I hear is softness as I scrape the bowl down. All right, we're going to add these eggs one at a time. I'm going to add my vanilla at the same time. We'll get the vanilla in. And then we'll start to whip it to add our eggs. And of course, we'll beat the batter until the egg yolk disappears. Now we'll go ahead and get our dry ingredients pulled together. I have my 3 cups of flour in, and I'm going to add the 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, well, if I could find it. There she is. And we want a half a teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Well, it's an eighth of a teaspoon, but it's still cute. And we're going to whisk this together to break up any clumps and make it as aerated as we possibly can get it without sifting. Because Memaw don't feel like sifting today, but I'm going to go ahead and do this to mix it in well together. And we will alternate this with our sweet potatoes and our milk. And of course, we'll start with the flour mixture. You know, I like to get all my ingredients out of my containers and things, so. And of course, you know I like to do my final mix by hand. So we're going to do the final mix by hand. Oop, I lost some batter, but that's okay. Let's get our pan ready, and then we can get her in the oven. And you know I gotta clean up this mess before I get busy doing anything else. She'll be all right sitting there for a while. Right. batter in. You know, I like to press this down to get it into all those decorative cracks and crevices. Otherwise, there will be air bubbles everywhere and your cake will look kind of funny. So it's not going to make your cake flat if you tap it down, but it will make it smooth on the outside. All right, let's get her in the oven. Okay, y'all, so the cake is in the oven. It'll take an hour and about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes for it to cook because it is a heavy cake. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go sit down and have me a glass of water. And you saw that I put my eggs over in a container because I am composting now, and I'm composting my eggshells so that I can make some good dirt for my plants next year. So anyway, I'm going to go drink me some water. I'll be back in just a snap of a finger, and we'll make some frosting to go on, or glaze to go on our cake. All right, y'all, we're going to turn this cake over, and I'm praying that she'll come on. Uh-oh. Okay, y'all, she was trying to give me a little problem, but we got her out of the pan, and now let's make the glaze. I didn't make it yet. Let's go ahead and make the glaze. Let her cool for about a half hour or so, and then we'll glaze the cake. Okay, let's go ahead and make our marshmallow glaze. It's a marshmallow cream cheese glaze, and it calls for 2 ounces of cream cheese. And this has been sitting out at room temperature. And 8 ounces of marshmallow cream. Can't get it out. And a 1/4 cup of confectioner's sugar. Now I have a little bit of milk here. It calls for half and half, but you know, I keep carnation around all the time. So I'm going to mix this, and we'll see how much of the milk we need. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just mixing this, and we're going to make our glaze. Because I want it to be just glazy enough to, or loose enough to be able to drizzle on the cake. I think that's it. Now we're done. Let's go ahead and glaze the cake. Okay, here's the cake. I'm gonna get my taste tester in here in just a minute so we can get it all tasted. Okay, let's cut a piece. Ooh, it went through very nicely. Ooh, this little piece is for me. Okay, I got my taste tester here, Miss Peyton. She is going to taste our sweet potato pound cake.
You can taste all the spices, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, and the sweet potato.
Good.
This is the 10 out of 10 good.
Is it too sweet?
No, it's in the middle.
I was kind of worried about it being a little sweet because of the marshmallow fluff, but Peyton has a sweet tooth. Is it moist enough?
Yes, it is very moist.
Good. You just shoving cake in your mouth, okay? I don't embarrass Peyton, y'all. She's just a good girl and she loves a good sweet. So my taste tester has now said that it's a thumbs up. Okay, y'all. So the cake is done. My taste tester said that it was good. Peepaw's trying a little piece over here. He says it's kind of like a spice cake. We'll see. I'm going to taste me a piece later on. But it felt very moist. It felt like it was a good textured cake. And I'm very pleased with it. Now, I did not add the pecans. The recipe calls for the pecan pieces to go on top. We don't need the pecans over here. But if you want to add your pecans, go ahead and roast some pecans because I think the roasted pecans would be really good on it. And sprinkle them on top. In the meanwhile, thank y'all for watching. Y'all be blessed. Bye. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And welcome to all of our new subscribers, and welcome back to those of you who have been subscribers for a long time. I appreciate each one of you, and y'all be blessed. Bye.